The OPEC, or the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, had a total control over the oil market till the recent past. But the situation is not the same anymore. Along with OPEC members, the United States and Russia also wield enormous influence, and there is more to the market. Till the recent past, it was a seller's market, but no more. Now it's a buyer's market also. That way, India and China, which are the second biggest importer of oil and the biggest importer of oil, wield huge influence. They also have a say in deciding the price of oil. The situation has completely changed. Actually, it has been a double whammy for Saudi Arabia. Earlier, India depended on Saudi Arabia for their crude oil needs, but no more. And moreover, Indian refineries import cheap oil, and they have captured the markets of Saudi refineries also. But Saudi cannot do, much. So this is a radical change. Let's take a closer look into what is happening in the energy market and what is the status of Saudi in the world energy market. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. If you look at the changes that are happening in the energy market, this is a story of rise of India, the buyer. The buyer depended on Saudi Arabia for the majority of their crude oil needs. Till the recent past, almost 50% of India's oil imports was from Saudi Arabia, and it also depended on Iraq and other GCC nations. But now India has changed. Russia has emerged as the major oil supplier to India. Perhaps this is an outcome of the changes that have happened on the production side, on the upstream side. If you look at the top oil producers in the world at present, there are three countries who produce almost equal quantity of oil. Now, the US is the biggest producer. The shale oil companies, the fracking companies of the US, top the chart. Then comes Saudi Arabia, then comes Russia. All the three produces more than 1 million barrel of oil every day. So this is the situation. So now OPEC doesn't have the monopoly as it used to have once. So on the production side, things have changed. When it comes to selling or the market, now the real change has happened there. India and China are the biggest importers. China is the biggest importer. India is the second biggest importer. And it's not as simple as that. Crude oil refining capacity is also very important in the oil market. When it comes to refining capacity, India has the biggest oil refinery, crude oil refinery in the world. It is owned by Indian billionaire Mukesh Ambani and situated at Jamnagar in Gujarat. So this refinery is the state. It has got state-of-art technology. It produces cheap petrol, or what you call gas in United States, and diesel. Now, India is selling huge quantities of petrol and diesel in European market. Earlier, Europe used to depend on Russia and West Asia, especially Saudi Arabia. But because of the political turbulences, political changes, for example, the war between Russia and Ukraine, then the disturbances in West Asia, all these have caused reduction in capacity of the refineries. Russia cannot sell the same quantity of refined petroleum products in European market anymore. Now that market has been captured by Indian companies, especially the refinery of Ambani's, then India's public sector refineries, they have all joined together. Earlier, Saudi knew that India has got a lot of refining capacity. And actually, Saudi wanted to have a stake in Indian refineries. They tried for that, but they couldn't. Instead of that, what happened? Rosneft, which is the public sector Russian oil company, they managed to gain stake in India's refineries. They started a refinery named Naira Oil, and they are a major player in the Indian market now. So on that side, Saudi has actually suffered. Saudi actually wanted to buy 20% stake in Mukesh Ambani's oil to chemical business, that is O2C business, they call it like that. This oil to chemical business of Mukesh Ambani actually owns the Jamnagar refinery. So had Saudi Aramco brought 20% stake in that, they would have had a major say in the exporting of Jamnagar refinery, but they failed to do so. And instead of that, Rosneft managed to gain a majority stake in an oil company in India which is called SR Oil. That SR Oil was in crisis, and Rosneft, with the help of other Russian investors, gained a major stake in SR Oil. It has been renamed as Naira, and now is a big retailer of oil in India. They used to sell oil to Europe also, but now, following sanctions of the US, there is control over the selling of Naira's oil in European markets. So this is the situation. Actually, Saudi Arabia has suffered because of this. Because Saudis have lost their importance as a seller of oil to India, and again Saudi wanted to gain control over India's refineries, and that also they couldn't. Now, what has really happened is that instead of Saudi, Russia has managed to gain influence in the refining sector of India. So that is why I said Saudi has suffered a double whammy. Now, there is no way Saudi can overcome this. It is because of the grudge, Saudi's annoyance, that now Saudi has signed a defense pact with Pakistan. Perhaps this is another strategy to pressurize India, but India is unperturbed. This is the latest situation. Now India buys only just around 14% of their imported oil from Saudi Arabia. And India has threatened that it could even buy lesser from Saudi. And that is going to a big trouble for Saudi. You look at the oil prices. During the invasion of Russia in Ukraine, or the clash between Russia and Ukraine, prices in 2022 prices hovered around over $100 a barrel. Now it is less than $70 a barrel. Despite the war affecting flow of crude oil to outside Russia, prices of oil or crude have not improved. So this is really a reversal, a big reversal for OPEC. This is the situation. Now buyers have emerged as the major stakeholders, or they have a major say in deciding the price of crude oil. So that's a new development. It's no more a seller's market. This is a buyer's market too. Now India has proved that. I will be back with major updates in the coming days. Till then, goodbye.